Good afternoon and welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. Wednesday, February 14th. Frank Granito, Kevin Coleman in the studio. Happy Valentine's Day, happy Ash Wednesday. First time since 1945, Kevin. The two have fallen on the same day.
Yeah, we were trying to go over that this morning. Happy to see that we finally got the stack going. But happy Valentine's Day, happy Ash Wednesday to all our viewers today. And looking forward to getting down here because we got a big basketball game tonight. We also got some big playoff scenarios coming up the next couple of days. Monday night is going to be a big matchup in boys hockey. You got Greenwich and Richfield, so a lot of good matchups. And Saturday, of course, is a big weekend for us. We got the quarterfinals for girls basketball, so the playoffs are starting to come into fold here. So it's an exciting time here on the HA Network.
I mean, you look at tonight's schedule, there are 10 games with immediate postseason implications, specifically just to the FCR tournaments in basketball and hockey. We're going to see a great matchup, I think, Central and Stanford from atop of the hill. That's going to be big-time basketball, two teams that really can position themselves for success when you enter into that tournament. We're potentially talking about one of these teams having a home matchup, or being a higher seed, I should say, in a couple of weeks when we head to Fairfield Ward.
Right, because right now you see it's Stanford sitting at the 4 spot, sitting at 10-3 in the FCX. So right now, if the season were to end, then they would be able to have a home game, with that 4 spot. But this is going to be a tough matchup, I think, for Stanford tonight. Playing at Central. Central has played well at home this year, coming off a really big win against Trinity Catholic on Monday night. This is a Central team that has surprised a lot of people. I think both teams certainly have surprised a lot of people, but Central, this is going to be, they're very equal too. Very similar teams like we saw Monday in girls basketball with Trumbull and Norwalk. Two very similar teams. This is going to be a good one tonight.
And you're talking about Central coming off that huge win against Trinity Catholic. Stanford on the other side, maybe got stuck in a bit of a rivalry, maybe looking past West Hill, but they had to fight to escape with a victory that night. So you've got two teams coming in from different ends of the spectrum here as well, too.
Well, you do, and I was looking throughout these team schedules throughout the season. They've had some pretty close games, whether it's been on the winning side or the losing side. And you look at Bridgeport Central, a couple overtime games, same with Stanford as well. You look at last week, an overtime win against Norwalk. That's a nice win for them, especially got that late dramatic. So just going into the playoffs, I like Stanford with their wins because they have some nice overtime wins. They're 2-1 right now in overtime games. So right now, schedule falling. I think both these teams are going to see challenges going into the playoffs, which I like. I like these teams who are on the bubble and teams who are looking to get in are playing the tougher teams, and I think that prepares them for the playoffs.
Well, you remember, too, last year when Coach Smith took over, there was a lot of talk. How long will it take for Stanford to get back? They had a bit of a down year, but after a slow start to this season, they have really caught their stride. And I don't know if there's a team, with the exception of a couple of lackluster performances, where they still were good enough to win, that's hotter right now than Stanford is playing.
Right, and you look at those losses, and it's not like they're losing by double figures. They're playing against teams, like at Richfield. They gave Richfield a bit of a scare in January. They gave some of the top teams here a good run for their money. They beat Ward. That's a nice win for them as well. So Stanford has had a good season, and some of the losses, while they're some tough losses to handle, this is a team that has played every opponent very closely.
There's extra motivation for Central as well when you look at the standings page. Obviously now they're sitting there 9-4. They're in that 4-way tie between 5th to 8th place. Right behind that, you've got Wilton at 8-5. So with a loss tonight, Central potentially now sitting in that same spot as Wilton on the outside looking in. But for the Hilltoppers, they hold the tiebreaker over the Warriors, so that works in their favor. But you really put yourself in a great position for either of these teams to getting, within a game of clinching a playoff spot with a win tonight. Who for you on the Stanford side are you keeping an eye out for going to be an impact player tonight?
It's Jelani Jackson. I think the senior the shooting forward, has been terrific all season long, coming off a 22-point performance in their last game. I think he's really been the scoring threat for the Stanford Black Knights this season. Zach Smith, the head coach, has really relied on him to really step up and be one of the big leaders of this team. As a captain, he's done a terrific job, but on the court as well, he's really done a great job. He's a dynamic player who can do it all. Obviously he's a scoring threat, but I think he stepped up his defensive game as well. He's had some nice games as well. Good on the glass, good size down low. Sitting at 6'2", good size. A powerful guy down low. He's got good strength. So I like Jelani Jackson on the Stanford side tonight.
I think a guy like DJ Fulton could be successful tonight for Central because you're looking at two teams that they don't have a player particularly who jumps off the page size-wise. So at 6'6", he's the biggest player in this matchup. But for me, I want to ride out the two big seniors here. I'm looking at Raekwon Wiley and at DJ Fulton. As I mentioned, I think both those guys, this is what they've been waiting for in their Central careers. They are back on the map right now. They've been having tremendous years as the leader of these programs. We know they're going to get their points, but how can they impact the game outside of offense? What kind of stops can you get? What kind of emotion can you bring to not only your team, but the entire crowd that's going to be there tonight? You have got to let this game flow through you. It's your senior year. You're not going to have a bigger game all season when you look at where you are right now, directly in the standings.
You're right. I think Fulton has had a terrific season. Sitting at 6'6", he's going to be pushed down on the 4 pretty much throughout the whole game. Might sometimes be at the 3 spot, but really, he's really sitting there at the 4 for a shooting forward, and he's great down low in the post as well. This guy can do it all, and he's great on the glass too. I think tonight, especially, these are athletic teams, athletic basketball players. So for DJ, for him to box out, grab some boards and look up and just get that outlet pass out, I think that's key for the Hilltoppers tonight, and that's what he's been doing all season long. He can do it all, man, and that's the matchup, the two matchups I like.
Yeah.
Jackson and Fulton going up against each other, 6'5" against 6'2". A little bit of a size advantage for Fulton, but still, Jelani is a good athlete. You got Tyler Lancito. The only concern I have for Stanford is Lancito is 6'5". He's their tallest player on the floor. And he'll sit there at the center position, but you got DJ Fulton playing power forward at 6'6".
Yeah.
A lot of size down low for the Hilltoppers, but still, Stanford has proven why they're why they're in the 4th spot this year, because they're great on the boards as well.
Both teams extremely athletic. Both teams want to try to get out, run the floor a little bit. I think we'll see great transition offense.
Yeah.
You're going to see good passing from both sides. I actually, Kevin, I was thinking about this the other day. I have not had to preach free throws as much of late as I might have liked to. I love to get on everyone about their free throws, but it has fallen on listening ears here in the FCAC. These kids are making their free throws now. All right, so our new big thing to watch out for: turnovers.
Yeah.
Limit the turnovers. Empty possessions. Don't have it. Get yourself a quality shot at the least. Don't give away free points, especially when you get into even matchups like this one,
And I think the girls have done a terrific job with the free throws as well. They got to give some credit. The past couple games, the girls basketball games they've done a terrific job.
Both these teams obviously are not going to be eliminated with a loss tonight. That's
Right.
not the case at all. They've got games coming up for Central. You're still staring down games against Trumbull. You've also got Trumbull and McMahon in conference as well still. So you'll have opportunities to play teams who you're chasing. Stanford has got Trinity Catholic still, along with, I'm looking at it right here, along with Wilton. So teams that are sitting behind you at the moment, you can hold tiebreakers over. So this is not a win or die situation for either of these teams. One game on the calendar that we're not really going to get to appreciate because it was snowed out, moved to the end of the year. Central and Bassick.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's going to be a really, really good one.
I was about to say, having Bassick at the later part of your schedule, I like that. No matter what happens in that game, I think that's going to help Central tremendously moving into the postseason playing Bassick.
Absolutely. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock tonight. Kevin and I will be on the air at 6:50 from inside the gym. We're going to take a break here on Nutmeg Sports. When we get back, there are plenty of other games going on tonight that are going to impact this year's FCAC tournament. We'll get you caught up on all of that next.
Voted Best Gourmet to Go in Fairfield County, Palmer's extensive menu offers everything you'll need to make your next event easy and delicious. Whether you're hosting a small get-together or planning a large celebration, they've got you covered breakfast through dessert. Order online at palmersdarien.com or call 203-655-2077.
Yeah, Dad.
Kyle, I need you to update the financial statements.
I took care of that yesterday, Dad.
Mac, I need you to get those deals approved.
They're all done, Mr. Miller.
Jeff, I need you to order lunch for the meeting. They can't do a thing without me.
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
I'm never going to retire.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
Back on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network, Frank Granito and Kevin Coleman. Let's take a look, Kev, at some of the other boys' basketball games tonight. Big ones going on. I'll start with McMahon and Wilton. This is a must-win for McMahon if they want to stay in the hunt now. They've got to find a way to win out down the stretch, but all the teams they're playing against are within striking distance.
Right, and this is a must-win for Wilton, too. Imagine them losing this game as well. That really hurts their chances of making the FCIAC postseason. So for Wilton tonight, you look at this game, I mean, man, they have to.
I would say Wilton loses tonight, they're out.
They're out, and I think what benefits them is that it's at the Z. It's at home. You know, they can get their student section and their home fans behind them, but still, they have to come out and perform and play right out of the get-go. They can't be slow again off the tip-off. They have to play fast.
More important in tonight's game, Brancato or Cunningham for the Warriors?
Ooh. That's tough because both players have proven to be able to take over games. I'm going to say Brancato because he's proven to be able to take over a game and actually absolutely change the concept on the floor. So I'm going to go Brancato.
If your McMahon is your biggest worry heading into this game, Wilton shooting from behind the arc?
It has to. You look at Wilton, and I think every team feels that way. That's how they go into playing the Warriors. It's, okay, we have to stop the three. Let them try and score inside the paint. That's where Wilton doesn't develop a lot of their points, but I think sometimes when they do that, that's where they really become successful. Look at that Richfield game. I thought when they scored down low and penetrated inside, that's where they got a lot of their big buckets.
Another big basketball game tonight, and that one at 7 o'clock from the Z, as Kevin mentioned. Another big boys hoop game tonight. You have got Trumbull and Trinity. Obviously, Trinity in no danger whatsoever at this moment in time, missing the FCI tournament, but Trumbull, it is not an easy schedule down the stretch. This is not an easy matchup, but if they can find a way to pick off Trinity, wow, does that strengthen their case.
And I have to think they had someone go to that Central Trinity Catholic game just to watch and see how Central is able to beat Trinity. I think Trumbull has the talent to hang with Trinity Catholic. It just comes with if you can't turn the ball over. Trinity has proven to be that team that can score easily, and when they have odd man rushes coming down the floor, turnovers are just, you can't have them against Trinity Catholic. They'll easily score. You got Denali Burton, you got Dimitri Moyes. Actually, those two are going for 1,000 points tonight.
They're very, very close, both of them.
They're very close, so that's another big thing to look out for Trinity Catholic tonight. But for Trumbull, I think they certainly can hang. But this is going to be a tough matchup for them.
I just struggle thinking that Trinity, after falling against Central, is going to lose back-to-back games. They come out extra motivated. They currently drop down to the 3 seed at the moment in the conference. They know they can get back up into those top 2 spots. I think that's where they want to be. I like the Crusaders in this one, and it's going to leave Trumbull in a very, very tricky spot as well.
It is, and just looking because you got the 2 and 3, you got Danbury sitting at 2 right now. They're taking on Greenwich at home. You got to think that Danbury is going to take care of business tonight as well. So Trinity Catholic's going to be looking at that because I know they'd like to get that number 2 seed as well. But this is going to be a tough matchup, I think. But still, Trinity Catholic, I agree with you, Frank. There's no way they're dropping 2 games in a row.
No, not at all. All right, let's see. As you mentioned, you've got that Greenwich game. So girls basketball, a couple of big ones. I want to start with one that does no, immediate implications. Potentially a first-round matchup here, though. Norwalk and Ridgefield from out in no man's land.
That's going to be this is a tough week for Norwalk.
Definitely not easy.
It's not easy. You go to play in Trumbull, not an easy place to play. 2 days later, you got to go to Ridgefield and play at the Tigers' Den.
And you're playing a really hot Ridgefield team too.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And that's another team another defense-heavy team. Coach DeMarzo, he's another coach, just like Coach Dobich, that likes to press, that likes to put on that half-court press and trap right around the top of the key. So this is going to be a tough matchup for Norwalk. Do they have the talent to beat Richfield? Certainly. I think they have the players to take over the games. I think Vega is going to be a big name to look out for. I thought she played tremendous Monday night. I want to see her come back and have a good performance. But this is going to be a tough matchup for Norwalk. Tough week. But I'm going to ride with the Tigers in this one. They're playing well. They're at home. I think the Tigers are going to take care of business here.
All right, so Ridgefield potentially, if they lose, they drop down to that 7 seed possibly, get jumped by Staples. Norwalk Ridgefield could be playing again on Saturday. So this is
they're going to learn a lot about each other.
Yeah, and it's the difference between possibly playing against Wilton and Norwalk in the quarterfinals, which no easy task either way, but I think you want to try to avoid Norwalk if you're this young Tigers team.
Oh, certainly. And I think you look at that matchup against Wilton, you're right. I think that favors the Tigers a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think they're a little faster than the Warriors in terms of moving up and down the floor, but I like them playing the Wilton Warriors better than Norwalk.
And I just think that if you can add that extra incentive of the rivalry, it motivates a younger team a little bit that really they're going to, almost over, worst case scenario, they're trying to play out of their shoes. Coach DeMarzo calms them down where if you get caught chasing Norwalk, that's a tough place to be in with such an inexperienced group.
And I think you look at someone like Caroline Colonel, the only upperclassman on that squad, she knows. She's had 3 years of experience now in her final season. She knows she's able to. She knows she has the floor.
Oh, yeah.
She knows she's able to speak up and say what she wants to say, and that motivates the freshmen and sophomores who are really stepping up big for the Tigers this year.
All right, 2 big games now. Let's start with one from the outside looking in. Darien hosts West Hill at 5:30. Blue Wave will be heavy favorites in this one. They need to win and will need some help. Key to success for the Blue Wave tonight.
Move in transition. Continue to do your thing. Continue to have Chrissy Fiore and Katie Ramsey move up and down the floor. They have the speed. They have the athleticism. They can box out and not give West Hill second chance opportunities, then Darien's going to take care of business tonight.
All right, but all of that won't matter as you've got the battle not only for Fairfield, but for the 8th playoff spot. The Lady Falcons of Ludlow traveling to take on the Lady Mustangs at Ward. 5:30 for Ludlow. Win, and they're in. I want to hear you caw. This is going to be. I think it's going to be a really good game.
I agree.
Fairfield Ludlow is playing so well right now, but this is not a game that Ward is just going to give away, Kev. They need this win to hold on to the 4th spot. They would be hosting a playoff game then Saturday as the quarterfinals would come to the Ward Gym. So, and obviously, it's a city rivalry. The Mustangs want to beat the Falcons.
They do, and you look back. I mentioned it yesterday on the show. You go back to the fall. What happened in volleyball at this same gym, at Ward? It was Ludlow who took down the Mustangs, and I think that left a sour taste in some of the seniors like Olivia Parisi and Libby McKenna. And I think those two really want to take care of business tonight at home, and that's going to be a great crowd too. I think for both games, for the girls first and the boys second. I think those are going to be some great games for Ward Ludlow on the boys and girls side. So it's going to be a fun one for Ludlow. They certainly can. This is it for them. This is a playoff game. This has that playoff feel to it. So it's going to be a fun one tonight. If they can take care of business, get that 8th seed, that'd be huge for the program.
Into the state tournament, but looking to crack the ceiling and break through for the FCX tournament. That game 5:30 as well. It'll definitely be a lot of fun. Good luck to both squads in that one. Let's take one more break, Kev. When we get back, we'll dive into a little bit of hockey. I know we're going to go back and forth, a little debate action here. Our director, Steve Gutman, has got some questions he's throwing our way. It's coming up next on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
Dr. Stephen Molinaro and Peter Healy of Family Practice Dentistry and Laser Dental Care have served Ridgefield for over 22 years. Experienced staff offer gentle drillless techniques, preventative care, and cosmetic procedures in a relaxed environment. Grateful for the community's trust and support through the years, new patients and their families are welcome. Call today.
At Rings End, we say it's time to re-love your home. Time to refresh and reinvigorate the way you live. And whether you're redoing something big or small, remember the letters RE stand for Rings End. We're the new model in home remodeling.
While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Dr. Stephen Molinaro and Peter Healy of Family Practice Dentistry and Laser Dental Care have served Ridgefield for over 22 years. Experienced staff offer gentle drillless techniques, preventative care, and cosmetic procedures in a relaxed environment. Grateful for the community's trust and support through the years, new patients and their families are welcome. Call today.
At Rings End, we say it's time to re-love your home. Time to refresh and reinvigorate the way you live. And whether you're redoing something big or small, remember the letters RE stand for Rings End. We're the new model in home remodeling.
While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Back on Nutmeg Sports on the HA Network, Frank Granito with Kevin Coleman, and we are happy now to welcome in the voice of our director, Steve Gutman. Steve, you've got some topics you're throwing our way. Let's get to it, buddy.
That's right, Frank. We got some hot topics around the FCX today. So let's start off tonight's game on the HAN Network. We have Stanford and Bridgeport Central boys. We haven't seen either of them yet this winter. So which players do you guys have looking out for?
Again, for me, I want to see Raekwon Riley and DJ Fulton for Bridgeport Centrals. How do those leaders step up? Probably the biggest game they've had to this point in their careers at home with their fans supporting them. I want to see what those guys are bringing to the table, Kev.
I agree. I like Fulton as well, but for Stanford, I like Jelani Jackson. This guy's been able to do it all season long. I think he's proven to be in question to be an all-conference type player. He's certainly been a great spot right here for the top in that top 5 for Stanford in the starting 5. He's been great all season long, coming off a 22-point game performance. I really like Jelani Jackson tonight, but I know Central is going to keep a close eye on him. So it's going to come up to Jelani dishing it off to some of his teammates who are also making big names. And it's the guys off the bench, too, who are making a big name for Stanford as well.
Just know whoever wins, Kevin will have been in your corner the whole time. Don't forget that. Steve, what do you got next?
True. Trinity is 9-1 in their last 10. Their only loss was their last game to Central. So is Central the real deal here? Is this like a real contender going into the playoffs, or are we gonna wait to see that tonight?
I'm on board with Central. I think they can absolutely get into the playoffs for sure. I think they'll cause some problems in the Division II bracket for states. FCX will be interesting. I think it's going to be a bit of a learning curve for the Hilltoppers getting back there. The big thing for them, they've had a lot of success against some of these other FCX schools. So basketball, I mean, you could really say this for almost every tournament we're going to see this winter. It's anyone's game. If you show up and play your game at the right time, you have absolutely got a chance to take home a conference championship. So I'm on board. I'm drinking the Central Kool-Aid.
Yeah, they're for real. The Hilltoppers are for real this year. I've liked them, since the beginning part of the season where they started getting on a little bit of a roll. And we mentioned how Stanford's played every opponent that they played this year close. So has Central. They haven't really lost too many blowout games, and they played some of the great teams well. And look at that last win they just had Monday night against Trinity Catholic. I think Central is for real. I agree with you, Frank. I think they're going to give problems in the state tournament. I think they're also going to give problems in the FCIAC postseason.
And if nothing else, that win over Trinity the other night at least shows them their capability and who they're able to hang around with. All right, Steve, hit us again.
So coming up on this next week, we're gonna have. Coming up on this next week, we're gonna have the girls FCIAC playoffs. Have we already seen the final or one of the late rounds here with Trumbull and Norwalk just a few nights ago, or is there someone else who's gonna come out and emerge against Trumbull's trap and give them something to play with?
I think if there's any one team that would be a favorite to get to the final, it's absolutely Trumbull. I think they're so experienced coming off that championship last year. They're probably your best or safest bet to get all the way to the championship. Haven't seen Wilton yet, so I don't know how far I'm willing to go in saying that Norwalk is as much of a lock. I think the Bears are extremely talented, but Wilton has played so well all season long. You can't sleep on them. Fairfield Ward, if Olivia Parisi gets hot on any given night, I think that she is capable of taking over a game. Look at what Stanford did last year, and they're essentially bringing back that entire roster again. Ridgefield, we mentioned, is getting hot. Staples, if Ellie Fair controls the basketball, they can be such a force when you think about the hot start they had. And, of course, don't sleep on Ludlow. Remember now, Ludlow is probably the only team in the tournament that could knock off Trumbull in the first round, if they get it.
Right, and I think if there is one team, I'm curious because I know we didn't get a chance to see them play, and it was earlier part of the season. I want to see how Ridgefield and Trumbull play against each other. I know it was a low-scoring game. I believe Trumbull won that game, but it was a close game, wasn't it?
It was. And, I'm glad you mentioned low-scoring because you think back to last year's tournament, too. A lot of defense. It's going to be a defensive-minded tournament. Remember, we had the semifinal last year, Trumbull and Ward, 34-32 or 36-34 in 3 overtimes. I don't know if it's that low-scoring, but I do think you see complete stalemates throughout this tournament. And also, obviously I mentioned Ludlow, Kevin. If Darien sneaks in,
that's
the combo of Ramsey and Fiore, that can cause a lot of issues in this tournament as well. So I don't know that we've seen the championship already, Steve, but I do think it's not as open compared to some of the other tournaments. It's Trumbull's to lose is how I would describe it.
I agree with that. And right now, the way Trumbull's playing, they're going to the championship game. I mean, just the way they're playing. Now, going into the postseason, good teams crack. I think some teams can't handle the postseason, but I think Trumbull, they were there last year. They have the seniors who were there last year on that team who were able to take care of business. They have freshmen stepping up big. I think Trumbull has a complete package to continue and get back to the championship game. I think you look at the rest of the field, 2 through 8, that's going to be a fun matchup to see because there really isn't a lock for me. I think a lot of those teams are capable of making it to the final game.
All right, Steve, we got time for one more here. Hit us with it.
Let's do, we'll try a new segment here for Valentine's Day. I'm going to give you the game, and I'll give you one team. You tell me if you love them or you leave them. All right, so tonight in boys basketball, we already talked about Brian McMahon and Wilton. Both of these teams are towards the bottom of their division, but Wilton has to win if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. Wilton, love them or leave them.
At home, season on the line, I love the Warriors.
I'm all in. Roll Tribe, I love the Warriors.
All right, Trumbull boys, they're in the 3-way tie for the 5th spot right now. They are on the road at Trinity tonight, who, like I said, 9-1 in their last 10. Trinity, love them or leave them?
I love Trinity at home. No way they lose twice.
Yeah, I'm going to say leave Trumbull at home. I think I like Trinity as well tonight at home. There's no way they're dropping 2 games in a row.
No.
All right, Greenwich boys hockey on the road at Milford Ice Pavilion at Staples. Top of the West battle right there. Greenwich boys, love them or leave them. Kevin.
Ooh, I'm going to say it's tough because Greenwich is so talented, but what a year Staples has had. I'm going to take Staples tonight to beat the Cardinals. I'm going to take the Wreckers.
He is leaving Greenwich. I love the Cardinals because Sam New still not back for Staples. I don't think they have enough offensive firepower to keep up with the Cardinals tonight. That being said, if New is healthy for the FCAC tournament. The Wreckers are going to cause some problems and a little bit of chaos in that bracket.
All right, Richfield boys hockey visits Prep tonight. They're 13-1-1. They just took their first loss.
Oh, man.
As actually out of state in New Jersey.
Please ask this one to ask Kevin first. Please ask this one to
Kevin.
Kevin first. I want to hear this. This will be
Kevin,
good.
I know you got something to say about this one. Love him or leave him.
I have nothing to say. Prep has had a tremendous season. I'm going for the upset though. I want to see. I'm going for the upset. I'm taking the Tigers.
Coach Gallagher and his boys have got to bring a pretty good game tonight
Yeah.
if they're going to upset the Prep Jesuits. But look, I said it before, and I'm sorry, Chris. I know Coach Verga is watching right now. It's Prep and everybody else in this state right now. I love the Jesuits, and I will continue to do that for probably until March 17th. You know?
It's been one of those years for Prep. All right, last but not least, tonight's matchup on the HAN Network, we have Stanford at Central. Frank, Stanford.
I'm going to leave Stanford. I've been high on Central for a couple of weeks now. I think it's awesome that we're going to get to see them at home. This is a huge game with the city teams back together again. Yeah. I like the Hilltoppers. I think they've got enough tonight, and it's going to make the playoff picture that much more interesting.
I guess I got to go with Stanford now. We got to draw the line in between here. I mean, I've been saying his name all show long. Jelani Jackson is the guy for me. I think Coach Zach Smith has done a terrific job with this squad, with this roster. To be able to be where the spot they are right now in this season is tremendous for the Black Knights. And I agree with you, Frank. Love that the city teams are back and around the top 5, top 6 in the FCAC. It's what the FCAC needs. Reminds me of the old school FCAC, and it's really what the conference needs. And I like Central as well. I'm going to pick Stanford tonight.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Nutmeg Sports. But I'm a little upset. Steve did forget one game, so I will end the show with this today. I love the Falcons at Ward. Good luck to all the teams competing tonight. Let's go Falcons, baby. For Kevin Coleman, Frank Granito, you've been watching Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.